Hey there, welcome back. Have you ever wondered how do you find out if your information was taken in a recent breach and what do the hackers have? What do they know? And how do you protect yourself? Today we're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you an easy way to find out if your information was involved in a recent breach like Equifax and what you can do about it. Let's get started. So we're going to visit this website. You'll see that I've opened it in Chrome and it's called haveibeenpwned.com, and it's run by the famous Troy Hunt. Some things to notice here. You can type this into your address bar. Is it up here in the left-hand corner? We can look at this lock icon. And if we click at it and see the connection is secure, it tells you that your information, for example, passwords, credit card numbers, anything we type in this site is private. This is important because what we're going to do next is come down here on Have I Been Pwned, and right here I want you to type in my email address. In this case, we're actually typing out, this was where you would put your email address, whatever that is. And in this case, I'm just using an example, myemailaddress.com, or myemail@gmail.com is the one I'm using right now. But you're going to want to put your email address in here and then click the pwned button. And you can see the little bar, it's going to search, and you can see that it's searched and it says, oh no, I've been pwned, which is a kind of a catchphrase for being involved in a breach. And you can see that my email address here has been in 74 breached sites and found in 32 pastes. And what this is when someone breaches a site, they'll take a huge list of all the usernames, passwords, or first names, or geographic data, all the stuff that they get from the breach, and they paste it on the dark web. So you have an option here where you can subscribe, and Troy Hunt's website will send you notifications whenever your email is captured in a new breach. But for now, we're just going to go through here and we're going to look at what kinds of information Troy gives us to help out. One of the things he brings up first of all is 3 steps to better security, and one of them is to protect yourself using a password vault. He's recommending 1Password. There's also password vaults called KeePass, Dashlane, and LastPass. Any of those would work out well, and those are ways that you can generate a really strong, lengthy password, and instead of having to remember it and write it down, you can use that encrypted vault to save it and it will populate it on your website. Another thing you can do is add 2-factor authentication. You've probably seen this, it's really popular. You use your cell phone and your email or whatever service you use will send you a text message. Most of your banks are all doing this now. You might use an app so that you can put in some information. So the second factor is you have your username, your password, and you have that third thing. So if someone does have your password from a breach, they can't log into your site or your bank without having that text message or that third thing or second factor. And here is the subscribe to notifications. So that way, when you get a notification that your information is involved in a breach, you know immediately, go change the password. So that's the first thing you can absolutely do is change your password. So here I'm going to look at the email address and all the breaches. Remember up here it says 74. So what's great about Troy's site is it gives you the icons so you can recognize it right away. 8Fit, for example, in July of 2018, the Health and Fitness Service suffered a data breach, and he offers the link that goes right to their website where they talk about it. And it tells you about how the information was on the dark web in February of 2019, and it included 15 million email addresses along with names, genders, IP address is the address of your computer when you're on the internet, and passwords and that sort of thing. It gives you, again, if you look under here, compromised data, what was stolen, and that way you can see what kinds of information the hackers have. So you can go through here and you can look through and you can see what kinds of breaches that you may have been involved in. Chegg, for example, is a really popular website that college students use to get textbooks. Club Penguin is a gaming site for small children that's family friendly, and you can see that in this case, usernames, passwords, email addresses IP addresses. An IP address, again, is the address of where your computer is located. And if you're not using a VPN, a virtual private network, like you see up here, I have this little green lock that has a US flag on it. This is my VPN right here. If you're not using a VPN, this IP address can locate right where you live, almost down to your house number or your street in your town and which service provider you use. There's a lot of information that comes from that. It also can populate the operating system you're using. There's a lot of information, a thumbprint about your computer can be taken from that IP address. So you be aware that that is really important information that can be leaked. You can see in here there's Dropbox, Evermotion, some gaming, Heroes of New Earth, iMesh, Leet, LinkedIn. That was a very big breach, 164 million email addresses and passwords exposed. MyFitnessPal, that's tough because, again, usernames, passwords, they can use your username and password to get into your MyFitnessPal data and see what's in your account. MySpace, who knew MySpace even was a thing still? Neopets, this is a really tough one. This was a few years ago, but it included dates of birth, genders, geographic locations, names, passwords. It's important to look at this stuff because if you're getting a lot of junk mail, if you're getting a lot of scary phone calls and you're not sure how people have this information, or if you've noticed on Facebook that someone's copied your pictures and they have information that they just don't think they should have, go back and look to see if you've been involved in a breach and what kind of information was stolen, because while you change your password, some of this information is out there in the wild, in the dark web for people to use and try to steal your identity. Another thing that you're going to want to do, besides the things that we talked about, is definitely put like some monitoring, credit monitoring. Just watch your bank account. To keep track of if anything happens, if someone tries to open an account in your name, to go ahead and do that. So here's a really great website that you can go to and just, again, look to see if you've been involved in a breach, what information was taken, and take some steps to protect yourself. HaveIBeenPwned.com.